Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, animals of all ages. We are back here once again at Sensational TV live here at ASA's LMU Monday Sprint Series, and it is a very warm welcome to everyone here tonight in the commentary box. Right next to me tonight is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lindsay Goddamn Muddle. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. It's a bit of deja vu though, isn't it, Zach O'Reilly? Here again, Sebring once more, but this time no LMP2s, no GTEs. It's just going to be the usual standard practice at the hypercars and the GT3s, and I think that it is going to be absolutely fantastic tonight.
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of fatigue from the drivers from Saturday night's Enduro right here at the same location is coming into fruition here tonight. We're watching the end of this practice session. The drivers will probably be going in very shortly for a quick driver's briefing with 5 minutes to go on the practice. The man, Peter's love child, Greg Brock, will be at some way, shape or form commanding them to come into the pit soon, but we're seeing some practice action here tonight. We'll get into the format just before qualifying starts, ladies and gents, so stick around for that. But it's already that time, Lindsay, where we start thinking, who the hell's going to take the chockies? And at the moment, we're seeing battling here on track between Paul Britt and Lachlan Andrews, and it's all come to fruition.
Oh no, that is not what you want in the practice session. Hopefully that just gets the bad luck out of the way for them going into the main event. But that's the sort of thing that can happen. But I think if we look back to what we saw on Saturday night, we would expect Alex Kay to come back with a vengeance, but currently, at least in the practice laps that he's done so far, he's 1.5 seconds off Latunzio, who we know he was quicker than, so potentially a tiny bit of sandbagging going on in the practice session, but we know he'll be back, and he'll be back for blood after what was a critical mistake on Saturday night that cost him what was going to be a commanding victory.
Well, in saying commanding, the only thing he commanded in the racing department there, Mr. Muddle, was counter steer, and a lot of off-track excursions coming that way for him at the end of the stint. For poor old Alex Kay, it was anything but okay, if you pardon the pun, at the end of his racing night. But that's okay. He'll be back for a vengeance tonight, as Lindsay has just put it nicely. But it is Latunzio at the moment, the Italian stallion himself, just absolutely driving the wheels off that Alpine here in the practice, just getting a bit nervous because Alex Kay is not too far away, if I may say, in Sebring 60-minute I guess I'm a rapper now, as Lindsay Muddle said. But nonetheless, very, very dismal sort of stuff from me too. But none can come better and come quicker than qualifying shortly our way here soon, ladies and gents. Get your predictions into the chat. It's great to have you here, gentlemen and ladies. We've got Paul Huddy in the chat there as well. We've got Johnny CC, Mr. Canadian Club. Ron Marshall's in there too. And old mate Colin Black. Good evening to all of you guys, and for all of our viewers here as well. It's going to be a cracker of an event, so stick around with us. But at the moment, it kind of looks like we've got a couple of people in the pits, so this could be briefing, if I'm not incorrect, Lindsay. What's your prediction for tonight in the GT3 class, at least?
Oh, the GT3 class is always pretty close to call. I think it's really anybody's guess, but I think Paul Britt, obviously the main contender out the front there of the GT3 class in the practice session. He's normally very, very pacey in the series as well, so that'll be the main competition, I'm sure, here on this Monday night in the GT3s. But he also has Wall not too far behind. I mean, it's 9/10 of a second. I say not too far, but it definitely closes up when you actually get into the racing. With hypercars going all around you, it definitely will close up even more than this practice session. So I think we have a good couple of battles. And look at that top 4 in the hypercar class. No, not even top 4, top 5 in the hypercar class.
That is tight. That is tighter than a Greek's pocket, I'll tell you what. These guys are not letting go of each other. We have got 2/1000ths of a second. Then we've only got not even 300ths of a second between everyone from 3rd into 5th. Fiat, Spinazzi and Vintner. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Spinazzi will be wanting to be spinning at any rate tonight as well. He'll just be trying to stick his nose in for a podium position too coming his way. And people are in the pits but not circulating around. So we might do what we do best here, ladies and gents. Get the vocal cords ready. You guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the motions for the minute. We are going to go for a little break, get everything sorted here in the commentary box, make sure we are fed and ready to go, and we'll be back here for qualifying in about 3 minutes and 50 odd seconds time. Don't go anywhere.
Only you can.
I see the faces of the city. I see the dealers and the girls of the night. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. I wonder why painkillers I can't buy. And it was written on my face, and it was spray painted on every place. That the city looks pretty when you're up in your face, and everybody has lost their faith. I see beggars, I see buggers, I see a chicken too fucking down and out, and he didn't even hire a decent way. I see dealers and policemen coming in to get their cut on the us who just look the other way. And it was written on my face, and it was painted on every place. Like the city is pretty when you're up in your face, and everybody has lost their faith, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to, yeah.
It was written on my face, and it was painted on every place. At the city, it's pretty when you're up in your face. Everybody has lost their faith, and it was written on my face, and it was painted on.
Let's go racing, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here tonight. It's not round one, it is round 5 tonight here at Sebring International Raceway. And we are back here for tonight. 16 turns coming your way of absolutely bumping and grinding and shouting action here in the commentary box, as well as on track. The forearms will be shouting, that's for sure. So get strapped in. 10-minute qualifying coming our way here. 60-minute race tonight, and the two classes on track, as always, here in the Monday night LMU Sprint Series is the Hypercars and the GT3s storming around the field. And by Jingos, they are looking very, very mean on track here. Practice session has just rounded out, Lindsay Muddle, and we can see now that there is a massive gap between first and second in Alex K.
Yep, Alex K has now arrived, and that is the gap that we are used to seeing. So he is back on form from what we saw on Saturday, and now we are going to be all eyes to the racing action, where hopefully he should be able to make it to the end as we'd expect with fuel saving, and also just be able to get back what he lost on Saturday night. I think he'll be out really sending it, but we'll have to find out. I guess it's unpredictable here, especially at the best of times at Sebring. nonetheless as well, it is an unpredictable circuit.
Oh, yeah. And we can see the checkered flag has been waved by the artificial intelligence steward and place getter there on the track. So everyone now is in the pits. And apart from Latanzio there, actually. So Latanzio is still circulating around, trying to do another PB or thereabouts. Not looking at his sector times at the moment. He hasn't crossed through that marker yet. But in the pug is the Italian stallion. And he'll be looking for some sort of formage tonight. That is your practice session over. So let's have a look at the pace there from everyone in Sundry. We have got no other than Alex Kay sitting on the field at this point in time. 10-minute qualifying in 20 seconds. Spinazzi, Latanzio, second and third. Vintner, Guterro, Fiat, Curry, the hairbrush himself, Mr. Random himself, Scanlon. Round out your hypercar grid for the evening. Then we've got no other familiar territory than Paul Brett just chilling out and in first place there for the practice session with Peter Wall and Benny Collins. Not too far behind him. So it's going to be interesting here. Qualifying is just about to get underway, I would say, here, Lindsay Muddle. Let's get back down on track and see whoever is out on the track first, and that would be this man, Matthew Spinazzi, in the hypercars.
Yeah, he is out and moving in the Cadillac hypercar, and we have seen quite a lot of these drivers out on the grid from Saturday, but we do have a couple of different names, and I do believe that we didn't have Spinazzi on the grid in the 3 hour, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it'll be good to see how he's going as he crosses the line now to begin the first hot lap of the session here in Sebring. And it'll be interesting to see where everybody stacks up at alone qualifying, as we're getting used to here in Le Mans Ultimate. And it just creates that pure pace environment. You have no worries about traffic, slipstreams, anything else you could think of. It is all coming down to the drivers pushing, and that is why we do run the lone qualifying here in LMU, and then you get to see all the racing action, all the slipstream you could ever want when you get into the race. But 10 minutes gives you time for about, 4 laps in qualifying here at Sebring for the hypercars, and I think about 3 or 4 for the GT3s as well. So it should be all okay to make a mistake at least on the first lap, where your tires are still a little bit cold, and you just recover, get the heat in, and go again for the second, third, and fourth laps. Hopefully everybody is able to get a lap down on the board, but Spinazzi looking pretty good at the moment as he's heading through the second sector as he heads through turn 13, and now the run towards turn number 14. Just a flat out left-hand kink that the car does run out just a little bit. Then you hold it tight left again, get it across now through the right left. You got to use all the track that you're confident to use. Dab the brakes, get it through turn 16, which is called Le Mans Corner, and then you head down the Allman Straight and towards turn 17 at Sunset Bend. So let's see what the first lap time of this qualifying session will be from Matthew Spinazzi. He goes, tips it in to the final corner now, and just wait and wait and wait, and then plant the throttle down, rounding the final corner. What is it going to be for Spinazzi to begin the session? It is going to be a 1 minute 48.6. Sorry, I don't know where I got 5 from. And that's 1.1 seconds clear of Guterro.
Geez, that's a quick opening lap there. Good banker there for Spinazzi. And we've got another class here on the circuit as well, ladies and gents. We have GT3s here on board. Lindsay Muddle, this is your time to shine, mate. Let's go on board here with the man himself, Peter Wall, for a lap here at Sebring in a GT3.
Right, so negotiating turn 1 very, very well there in the McLaren GT3. Just leaning on the ABS now as you head towards turn 3, 4, 5. And just get on the power. Make sure that the TC doesn't activate too much. Hop the curb. Hold second gear. Power right out. Don't hit the gravel on the right-hand side. Just go all the way out to the curb and then flat out through turn 6, the big bend. And then get ready for the turn 7 hairpin. You got to spot the braking very, very well as you climb up the speed. Approaching speeds near 240, but not quite, and then down to first gear, hammer into the ABS, and then power right out, up the gears now as you run through turn 8 called Fangio, then just a slight left kink, which is classified as turn 9, before getting ready for a deceivingly tricky corner at turn 10. Just get it through the apex in these GT3s, it is still pretty tricky, but not as hard as it would be in the hypercar class, and just power out and then ready for 12, and now into the turn 13 braking zone. He goes a little bit too tight, and he's going to pay the price, and he's going to spin out because he hit the inside curb, and that is not how you do a lap here of Sebring.
Oh, no, disaster there for Mr. Wall himself. He nearly hit one, but not to be. Luckily for him, no damage, so he's going to crack on, and now he's only got 2 laps really to get something happening for him. So a bit of pressure point motors for him. Spinazzi is still in the lead there. Nicolas Gotero has actually come through. Look at that. We've got foreigners on the front row here. We've got Spinazzi, Gotero, and Latanzio. How's that for a foreign affair here at Sebring? But the man leading the GT3 class here at the moment is Chris Weitzel, and he's putting on a bit of a charge here. Paul Bridge just sitting in the pits and just watching qualifying go away. I think because he's got the championship all in the bag already, has Paul Britt. He's just sort of having a look and just seeing what he can do. But I'll tell you what, it's all up to Chris Weitzel here. He has got a win in the palm of his hands if he keeps this going. Not doing that, though. That was very hairy indeed. Hairier than a Greek's back, too. I'll tell you what, he's going to have to make up more time here with 4 minutes, 50 seconds to go. He's got about 2 more laps to get further up the field if he possibly can. Well, he's already as far up as he can be, but doing 2:03s here at the moment, that would signify their outlap, I would say, here, and he's very, very sideways. That BMW M4 absolutely slipping its way through Sebring. It's a bumpy track, ladies and gents, and there we go with a 2:02.8 for Chris Weitzel. Lachlan Andrews, however, is setting some PBs on the timing towers. He was personal best in the last sector and the second sector as well on his last lap too. So not too far away off doing something else in the other BMW here. Here's Lachlan Andrews. So we'll find out where Dan Andrews' love child can sit on the grid. And we'll find out in about 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Latanzio's fallen down the list at a rate of knots. Alex Kay's entered the chat as well, Lindsay. And this guy here, Latanzio, can put the pug somewhere where he needs it to be. I'll give you the hot tip. But he's just got to think about where that would be. Whether it's going to be fifth where he's sitting at the moment, or is it going to be further up the grid in second place to maybe put some pressure on Spinazzi if Alex Kay is, however, putting out the old flood deterrents, which would be the sandbags here in qualifying.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see because we know Alex Kay has gone quicker than that from Saturday night, but Spinazzi currently looks like he has the number on Alex Kay with 3 minutes 20 seconds to go. He's 6.5 tenths nearly clear of Alex Kay on that provisional pole, and he's just done an outlap and he's beginning another lap of Sebring as well, so he'll be looking to extend his lead over provisional pole, and Alex Kay still has got to pump out the laps as well as a Fiat moves into second place as well, just 500ths ahead of Alex Kay, and now Latanzio rounds the final corner. Will he be able to put himself further up the field as he crosses the line?
No.
Will it be an improvement? No, he will not. It will be an improvement, but it won't be an improvement up the grid as, oh no, Alex Kay is driving the Porsche Cup, ladies and gentlemen.
LMU doing its LMU things at the moment. My goodness gracious me. No sound coming from Alex Kay. That's how good he is. He hacks into the system and just decides to drive the quickest Porsche on the grid. We'll go to someone we can see, which is a Fiat at the moment. Wow, good to see him back on the circuit. Wasn't attending the 3 hour on the weekend, and now he's racing around here in the Monday series. He had some work commitments, nonetheless, on Saturday to attend to. But here, Monday night, he's off scot-free, and he's up 2 tenths here in the first sector overall. Going for the quickest lap time here is Rifki, a Fiat. Wow, he is driving the absolute tits off this Ferrari. Can he navigate this circuit beautifully? We'll quickly jump on board with him and see how he is going. What's the second sector going to come up with here at the moment? It's interesting to see what we can tell once it comes, and he's 3 tenths down. So he was 2 tenths up, and now he's 3 tenths down on his own personal best. He's had an absolute mare in the midsection here of Sebring, and he's going to be trying to find a bit of time here coming down the back straight of Sebring, coming up to the last double right-hander here, and we've made sure that he is going to get further up the grid, I would say, with 1 minute 36 seconds left on the clock. We are going to see an improvement for him. He'll know where he's stuffed up in that last sector, looking very hairy around that corner, just understeer to the max. It's nearly full lock there as far as you can go with the slip angle of that front tyre, using the shortest way to get across the line, and he's gone to the top with a 46.973, only 8 thousandths off the next man behind him, Matthew Spinazzi. Tell you what, Lindsay Muddle, that is a bee's whisker if I've ever seen one between the top two.
Yep, that is a very good lap there from a Fiat to take provisional pole, but he's got to have his wits about him here as he'll still have Spinazi chasing, and Wittner also got himself into this battle as well, where he's moved into third place, and Alex Kay will still be looking to pick up a final good qualifying lap here with 52 seconds left on the clock. We know he can go quicker, but will he be able to hook it up? But Wittner currently through the first sector and 48 seconds into the lap. He still has quite a while to go. If it all goes well for him, he should find himself getting ever much closer to those leaders, but he is currently nearly 5/10 off provisional pole. There's Alex Kay arriving on the scene. 46.353, 6/10 clear of our old provisional pole time, with a Fiat moving to second place. That is where we expected him to end up in this qualifying session, and he finally arrives, and he'll have one more crack at it too if he decides to. And Wittner currently pushing through the third sector. Will he find any improvements as he heads through turn 16 and then now onto the back straight? He's pushing here as the clock heads towards zero. This is his final lap in this qualifying session in the BMW hypercar. Will he be able to find himself holding onto the second row of the grid more comfortably, or will he even find himself at the front of the second row, maybe even further? No, he's going to back out at the final corner, so it looks like, unless it all goes wrong for him, it is fourth, but Gatero could be improving behind, as also Curie is improving in 7th place, currently 5/10 up on his previous best lap time. He could put himself further up this order. This would put him past Wittner and put him onto the second row of the grid. So let's see what he has as he heads now into the third sector. This is the sector where we started to look at Wittner, and now we jump to Curie, who's 4/10 up in the middle sector as well, as he heads onto the Ullman straight. Will he find himself a lot further up than 8th, or is it just going to come a little bit short? But with his improvements right now, unless there's a big mistake at the final corner, he'll be quite comfortable to move himself at least onto the second row of the grid. So rounding the final corner, Sunset Bend. Oh, he's had a snap, but it has gone wrong for Curie. Will he still improve? He had 2 amazing sectors and a mistake in the third. What's it going to be for Curie? It's not going to be an improvement. He lost a second, and that is not how you want to finish a qualifying section.
Oh, absolute disaster there for himself. Oh my goodness, Harry Curie will be kicking himself here. Spinazzi is only a 10th off overall in his personal best time. What can he do as he rounds the final turn here at Sebring? Is he going to improve and put himself further up the grid? He does! Second place for Spinazzi now. Only 4/10 of a second off Alex Kay. Wowee, that's closer than we thought it would be by about 2 bits of a tenth of a second, if you know what I'm talking about, ladies and gents. That was awesome qualifying session from everyone involved. Very, very close indeed. That is your results there. We'll get the other info off the screen so we can see what we're talking about here. And we got Alex Kay on the front row. Oh my goodness, I hope I can get him into his actual car before the next session goes. Spinazzi, a Fiat. Latanzio, second, third, and fourth. Vintner, Gatero, Scanlon, Curie, who could have been in second or third place, in 8th place there for Curie. A disaster here for him in the qualifying session. The hairbrush in the Lamborghini, a disappointing 9th here. He'll be wanting to comb out some of those knots, I reckon, and maybe get a blow wave or even some hairspray put into his mind at the moment. And Phil Rando, well, the random grid slot didn't work for him tonight. 10th place in the hypercars, Lindsay.
Yep, not where you want to be. And now onto the GT3 field. Peter Wall takes pole position over Chris Weitzel, who was your GTE winner in the 3-hour. And then Greg Brock comes in the 3rd place position. Then Lachlan Andrews, Sam Austin, Brad Down, Ben Collins, and Paul Britt starting on last, trying a first challenge in the GT3 class here in Sebring. That is definitely an aggressive strategy to go for, but I'm all here for it. It's going to be quite entertaining.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be one of those things, I reckon. And have we got Alex Kay in his car? No, we haven't. We are still in a bit of trouble here, ladies and gents. LMU doing a little bit of weird things. So, without further ado, before the session starts, let me just sort this out. And if you can forgive me, I will probably just go to race 1 starting soon here. So stick around, ladies and gents. We'll be back here. Bit of silence coming your way, but hopefully we can get back in with all the cars on circuit. Stick with us. Race 1 coming your way in a hot second. Yep. LMU doing LMU things, ladies and gents. Classic. Absolute classic here. We're going to have to just look at this and hit and hope for the rest of this race. My goodness gracious me. Not even the overlays are coming up there as well, but we'll find out if we've got some sort of order coming our way. We do. We know Alex K is going to be off the front row, so we'll just call the first lap or two here and then come back for the action. My goodness gracious me. As we round up for the final time, we got no sound as well. Green flag racing. Here we go. Alex K is in front. Spinazzi there in second place. Right neck and neck at this time, the both of them. Spinazzi's got the head over Alex K, but Alex K is going to take it up the inside and absolutely drive the tits off this car now at the moment. Fiat sitting there as well as Latanzio. Spinazzi and a Fiat trading places there too. A Fiat's got up the inside of Spinazzi. Oh, there's an errant car wide there. That, I think, was Harry Curry. No, it wasn't. It was Latanzio. Has gone wide and slipping down the back of the field. My goodness gracious me, LMU doing absolutely amazing things. These are the quickest Porsches I've ever seen in my life. And Ben Vintner here at the moment on screen in fourth place. Everyone sort of skipped away and been a little bit nicer about everything here at this point in time. Chris Weitzel is leading the GT3 class, albeit very, very calmly and collectively. And these are more the pace that we expect of the Porsches too. My goodness gracious me, LMU doing LMU things. We've got everything happening here on the front race here at Sebring. Chris Weitzel leads. Peter Wall in the GT3 class right there. You can see Brock in third place. Lachlan Andrews and Ben Collins, not the Stig, in fourth place overall. Kay leads. Fiat, Spinazzi and Vintner all very close together here too. There's not much between them. I'll give you the hot tip. They're looking very, very racy. Look at the gap to the next of them. You can see how close it is. We've got half a second average between second to about ninth overall, and they're coming right up to each other here. Lindsay Muddle, this is incredible racing by the both of them, and I think at the moment it looks like Latanzio is going to have some work ahead of him, and he's just making his way through the field here. 3 wide down the front straight at Sebring, and we can't see what is happening here. They're coming out beside the pit box exit. Oh no, it's not the front corner, it is the back straight here. Called it incorrectly. Latanzio's just gone straight up the inside of the hairbrush, and Rando too. Katero's had a shock. Oh, Latanzio spun and he's out, and he's nearly collected Rando too. Oh goodness gracious me, Latanzio's had an absolute mare on the front opening lap. If only we could see the cars in full perspective. Lindsay, give it one more lap here and then we'll try and rejoin again.
Yeah, not how you want to begin your 1 hour race, let alone even if it was the 3 hour. On Saturday, you do not want to start the race off with a spin. There's a little bit of contact that caused that spin. It was a bit of a rear end bump, as that is very wide there for the hairbrush in the hypercar class, despite it not looking like it, as they head through turn number 4, and they're just got to negotiate now the next couple of corners. But all the battles going on at this point, as Spinazzi already dropping off the back of a Fiat, who's dropped off the back of K, but the hypercar class still staying relatively close together here as they head through the second lap. The GT3 class, though, is kicking off as well, as we look at Lachlan Andrews, who's only 4/10 behind Brocky there in the P3 position. So this is the battle for the edge of the podium here in the quote-unquote Porsche Cup race here, with 57 minutes to go as they head through towards the middle sector. Now he's chasing as much as he can, and Collins in the background also getting pretty close, but Paul Britt has had an absolute flyer of a start. He's already in 6th in the GT3 class with the train ahead of him, so he'll be looking to make more moves, and next up on his hit list is Ben Collins. So already a spectacular drive from the champion, and he is now going to continue to try and finish off this last to first. He's still got a way to go, though. 6 places is no easy feat as he heads into the third sector now, and flat out through the left, he's closing in. But at a flat out section, it's a little bit tricky to do, as there is a little bit of a bunch up here as they get a little bit closer through the third, then extend out again through the middle sector. It's all about driver, but he gets a great run off the back of Ben Collins, but it won't be close enough for a final corner move. These GT3s don't get a lot of slipstream. Maybe he will have a good run as they head towards turn 17. Will Paul Britt try and show the nose, or will he be patient? He's going to be patient here. He knows he's got to pick a right point to go for a move as we head around the final corner to finish the second lap.
Oh, geez, Louise. It's all happening. It's all kicking off. Paul Britt making his way through the field. We're going to have one more go at it, ladies and gents. One more go, and we'll see if this absolutely works. If it does not work, well, we're going to have to put up with what we've got, and you're just going to have to listen to us all night. I apologise. Not our fault. It is absolutely LMU just doing stupid things. So give us 1 second. We'll be back. You can see, ladies and gents, that it's not doing what it should do, and that is just classic LMU stuff. Alex K is leading this race, 52 minutes left here in this one, and he's doing it by a country mile over everyone else. So he is 3.2 seconds away. We're going to see if we can get these cars back at some stage in the race. I'm clicking all the keys to reload the cars, but it is just not working here in the grand scheme of things. But look at that. That is a move on now. That is a Fiat getting all the curry from Spinazzi. I'll tell you what, they're having an absolute rip snorter of a battle here, the both of them. Hanikuri in the background too is all over the back of Simon Scanlon. They're only 0.5 of a second behind him, but it's still eyes here at Sebring with a Fiat and Spinazzi going hammer and tong, just not letting go of each other. I'll give you the hot tip. Wow, this is incredible stuff. We're not sure what is happening. I reckon Porsches are going to win tonight. That's for sure. And I thought, geez, looking at the chat, someone's already beaten me to it. Absolutely. It's going to be a Porsche manufacturer, but who knows which one it could be. And I reckon by the time we get to seeing what all these cars are driving, you actually see what they are driving. Spinazzi's in a Cadillac, and a Fiat is all under the pressure here at this point in time between himself and Fiat right now in the Ferrari. Looking like very much like a Porsche there, driving the tits off that car. He's hoping to get further and further up the grid at this moment. Scanlon is now on the back too. Don't you worry about that. Simon Scanlon's on the back of Hanikuri. So Kuri versus Scanlon, battle heating up a little bit. 0.4 of a second and they're driving absolutely sensationally. You can hear the chopper in the background just chopping away. That's the only sound we've got in the grand scheme of things here at the moment. We're trying to get this thing back up. Maybe even time for Lindsay Muddle to maybe take over the stream. But in the background of the GT3 cars, it's happening. It's definitely happening here at the moment. Wowee. What a classic drive here that we're seeing from Lachlan Andrews. He's hounding the back here of Paul Britt. Paul Britt's trying to make his way through the field, and he's got himself up in the podium positions here or thereabouts. Oh, he's only one place away from doing so, and he's past Lachlan Andrews. Andrews just trying to give him some curry and get him on the back of this, whilst everyone else is trying to race away and hopefully doesn't get caught by Paul Britt there too, the series leader and official champion by the end of it. Wowee. What a disaster for anyone else thinking they were going to get a trophy this year. Paul Britt has just taken it away from them at the moment. How are we going on the other side of the stream there, Lindsay Muddle? Have we got any luck?
But I'm giving it a game restart, trying to do everything here in the sensational comms box to get a proper feed going. But at the moment, it looks like the grid's heating at the moment.
It is. It's getting spicy out there. We've only got 0.4 of a second between Vintner and Spinazzi as well. So a bit of curry happening everywhere, getting spicy. And these guys are feeling the pressure at the moment. Paul Britt, however, is now fourth overall in class. And he has got Greg Brock to navigate, who is just sitting in front of him as well. So Paul Britt on the charge here already. We've got a bit of a spread happening too between all of these cars as well. So little bit of something happening between the rest of them. Vintner, however, is catching the back of Spinazzi in the hypercar class here, trying to get some sort of advantage over the rest of them. They're driving very, very fast. These Porsches have never gone faster in their life. I'll give you the hot tip. But it's incredible to see what can happen between the rest of them, and we'll see if Vintner versus Spinazzi battle keeps coming together, because it's getting a little bit closer. It was 8/10, now it's only 6/10 as well, now into the 5/10 bracket too. So Vintner on the charge. What can he do overall? It's incredible to see these cars flying around at the rate of knots too. We can't get the onboards because the onboards are absolutely dead set shocking. Got some cars that are invisible on the inside here. The low-res LMU Porsches helping out frame rates for everyone who's got a absolute dead-set mare of a PC at some point in time. This battle is resuming, looking very, very close to each other. Is Vintner and Spinazzi. Third place on the chockies for Vintner. If he can get the job done, if I can speak correctly, he'll be right up there too. Benny Collins is also coming onto the back in the GT3 class here of Lachlan Andrews. So Lachlan Andrews now under a little bit of pressure from the Stig. The Stig has got the white helmet on. He's got the head down, and he's not saying much here at the moment, as the Stig does, and just keeping silent, but making sure he's a silent assassin there. And I don't know if we've got any luck there, Lindsay Muddle. Have we or have we not?
No, but I think the greater question is the Stig playing his classic radio in the cockpit? It'd be interesting to see what he's listening to in the cockpit, as the Stig normally does. But he's pushing on at the moment. I'm trying all my tricks that I tried to learn and have learnt since that first ever LMU event at Le Mans. That went a little bit pear-shaped. I found ways around it, but all my ways around it might have been fixed, as I had a little update going into the round, as well as I don't think it likes more than one person spectating at once, potentially, because it keeps telling me it's full, which isn't great.
Well, we can have a crack.
Yeah,
we'll have a crack, viewers. Give us a second. Once more. Oh, geez, that was Benny Collins getting absolutely passed by Alex Kay already, lapping these GT3 cars with 46 minutes left to go. We might as well just have one shot at it and see if we can bring you the best broadcast possible here. Bear with us. Don't you love it when a game just does all the things that you don't want it to do, ladies and gents?
Formation lab has
Yeah, it's still doing it. Oh, we cannot get anything going here for LMU's sake. It loves an absolute classic stitch up here. No tips coming our night, Mr. Marshall. Apologies. We cannot get these things. Not even Lindsay's computer is loading up the game as well. So the European server is just doing us absolutely no favours here in the grand scheme of things. And we will get back on with it very, very shortly. I don't know how Alex K is 105 seconds in front of everyone. We might just refresh that and see if it comes back to normal. There we go. We're back within where we need to be. That's your man in the lead at the moment, Alex K, in the BMW, driving the tits off that thing. 6.5 seconds already, Lindsay Muddle, and having an absolute commanding lead over the rest of them. And poor old Latanzio, in the meantime, has come into the pits, has Latanzio. So a bit of damage coming his way, or maybe just forgetting to fuel some energy into that car.
Yeah, it's a good question, but we know Latanzio had a bit of a moment earlier on in this race. He could have picked up damage from that, and maybe he just kept on spiraling. That could be one of the potential things that happened, but yeah, Alex K out the front looking absolutely fantastic. As he said, this is a similar gap he had 19 minutes into the 3-hour race, so he's just giving it absolutely everything. And I think a little bit of fuel saving will come into it as well, but I do imagine and I do expect people to be able to go the hour. I think we've had enough league racing time on this game at this point for everybody to know that they can comfortably push the hour if they really need to, so I think we'll see that. But we also know that Alex, towards the middle of the stint, and like the 30-minute to 20-minute range, he slows down, and the car behind does catch up when he fuel saves. So that could be really, really interesting to see if we see the same thing once again, and that could spice up a fight for the win. But Gutierrez and Brimblecombe still separated by only 0.7 of a second between the Alpine and the Lamborghini as they head around the laps here in Sebring. So they are continuing to battle on here as we're nearly at the 40-minute to go mark, and the Porsche Cup looking absolutely fantastic.
Oh, loving every minute of this. I've never heard a perfectly silent Porsche Carrera Cup before, but this is the electric series, ladies and gents. They've done us over. That's why you can't hear anything. Electric cars running around. No fuel, no toxic gases. If you're a tree hugger going into the air, you'll be very happy seeing what's going on here at the moment. Benny Collins is a little bit away from Lachlan Andrews. He hasn't let go of him, mind you, and he's still giving something to think about as we see Phil Rando just go straight past him, the last of the hypercar, second last of the hypercars there already. So 1 lap down for all the competitors in the GT3 class. 39 minutes into it. I don't think that's right. I think something's going on there. There'll be probably more than that at the moment, but maybe it is correct. However, Paul Brett Watch, the championship leader and aficionado crown champion too, already, is only 3 seconds away from his next person on the track, which is Peter Wall. And Wall has not hit any tonight so far, doing a very, very good job in second place. Britt is driving the wheels off that car, but he's trying to get it around and make sure he can get into at least second place, or maybe even take the win from the back of the grid, if you don't mind. That should be something to behold there as well. But we'll only find out here as Benny Collins now has got half a run here on Lachlan Andrews. Only 0.4 of a second now between the two of them. He's just ran a little bit wide there at turn 1. So that's hampered him by about half a second over the rest of them. Not the ideal way to go, but goodness gracious me, it could heat up here between those two. The rest of the field is spread out just a little bit overall. You can see there the leaders between them as well. And Chris Weitzel still leading this GT3 Cup pack by at least 9 seconds or thereabouts, Lindsay. It's bloody incredible.
Yeah, it is really, really good to see that it is just getting closer in the GT3 field as well. But also expanding out everywhere else as well. So it will close back up. I think we'll see a phase like we did Saturday night where it expanded out for about 10 minutes and then it really came back together and created such an exciting atmosphere in the later stages. But this time we don't have 3 sets of stints. We just have one sprint, 60 minutes as we know, and there is 20 minutes of that pass just over. And so it is just going to start to heat up here. I think a bit of fuel saving going on from a couple of the cars right now. And then they'll go further and further in. They'll start to take the gloves off, and that's when I think we'll really see sparks start to fly. But Collins really pushing his car at the moment. I can't remember. I think he's the McLaren. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doing really well. Yeah, McLaren. There we go. So it's the Porsche McLaren. You've never heard that one before. If only there was a Mercedes on the grid, which there will be later this year in LMU. We could have said McLaren Mercedes.
Well, we could have, or you could just call it the McPorsche if you really want to get technical there for the rest of them too. But geez, he is driving well at the moment. Is Benny Collins just hanging on to the back here of Lachlan Andrews as best as he can. 9/10 of a second now, the gap between him as well. With a hairbrush, he is combing out those knots, and he's only 8/10 of a second away here from the man in front of him, Gattero. So he's got to make sure that that car keeps straight, pointed, and apex beautifully, as well as pulling it up too. He's got to think of that as well. But geez Louise, it's all happening here for the hairbrush. Qualified 9th, did the hairbrush himself. So now in 8th place, gained 1 position because of poor old Latanzio way down the grid there in 18th overall. He's in a hypercar, ladies and gents. You can tell by the little red marker next to him as well in the grand scheme of things what cars are which on circuit. Alex Kay still leading this pack by 6 seconds overall over a Fiat too. Spinazzi has done none of that tonight. He's just been battled hard on the circuit. So he's got to make sure that he can get this this car back where it should be in P2 over a Fiat, if possible in that Cadillac as well. But no, nonetheless, we won't know because we've still got 36 minutes of racing to go. And it's anyone's bet what's going to happen here. The hairbrush on the charge here, 8/10 away too. So will these guys have the battery and the energy left in the tank? We're not too sure by the end of it, but there's only one way to find out when that checker flag is waved. Who's going to come through with one of those masterclasses? As Lindsay said earlier, Alex Kay had about a 20-second lead and bottled it up by coming into the pits with a bit of speeding. Didn't mapped his button incorrectly, but then it didn't activate. So maybe a little bit of user error or something there for Alex Kay. Nonetheless, didn't come out for him at the moment. But the hairbrush now just coming up on some lap traffic of Mr. Marsh, the cricketer's son. I can't get out of it at this moment too, but we'll find out because now Lachlan Andrews is creeping ever so closer to the man who puts on this show, Greg Brock. It is now becoming a bit of a suck battle. Down the back straightaway here, the final turn of Sebring to navigate here for Brocky and Lachlan Andrews. And Brocky's wide, but he's gone for that late apex style. So he's just got on the brakes and make sure he can run it super wide. And he has lost only about 1/10 of a second there between Andrews. The battle is resuming here. If we could go on board with them, that's as good as on board you're going to get here tonight with these Porsches, ladies and gents. The electric Super Cup absolutely flying. And you can see Brocky just sideways a little bit there on entrance. And now Andrews just has to think to himself, what can we do here on the circuit? How can I get underneath Greg Brock? What can we muster and put the pressure on him? Because he's going to be looking in his rear vision mirrors now, is Gregory. And Peter's love child himself is 100% now under all sorts here from Lachlan Andrews. Tell you what, Lachlan Andrews and Brock, this is the king of Target Tasmania in the mountain versus the wannabe king here of the Premier in Victoria, albeit through COVID. And Lindsay Muddle's just gone.
Oh, no,
Lindsay's Muddle's back. Sorry.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, here. Gotcha.
Wait. I started speaking. All right. Okay.
That was a bit of a delay there, mate. I don't know if you were asleep or not.
No. I started talking and nothing came through.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think I had something else on my computer freeze up. Regardless, anyway, Andrews putting the pressure on here as he's chasing down Brock. The gap just under 3/10, but it goes back over on the corner exit. These GT3s pushing as hard as they possibly can here. We know how heated up touring car battles can get, and a little bit of a wobble there from Lachlan Andrews as he's trying to wring the neck out of this BMW, but he's just lost a little bit of time from that snap. That allows Brock to breathe just a little bit, not too much, but if they begin to battle and they begin to go side by side, that could invite Collins into this as well, which is not Collins. Collins. So I'm all over the place, Zach O'Reilly, into this battle. And that would make it a three-way fight, which could be really interesting. We know the hypercars have already got a lap over the GT3 field as they head towards the final corner now. And that's a law. Wow, that is a big dodge there for Lachlan Andrews. And I'm not sure who he was avoiding. It's a bit hard to tell with all of the Porsche models as Greg got all out of sorts. And that was Greg that went just a little bit wide and now through. And Zach O'Reilly on even better news, I don't have a Porsche car.
Oh my goodness gracious me. How has that happened? I'm not too sure how we're going to do this. If you want all of the racing, ladies and gents, and back with everything, we'll see if this works in YouTube land. Give us another moment if you can. My goodness gracious me. This could be something interesting. Something never done before. Switching streams mid-live. Stick around there in the chat and we'll see if it happens. There's Greg Brock's in the wall. Oh no. Greg Brock has punted that thing and absolutely slapped the wall harder than a drug addict on a Saturday night. Not the best place to be. If we could see that and see the damage that he's got, that's where we want to see. That's a good place to go. That's a segue and a half. Give us another minute or two, ladies and gents. We'll be back again to see if we can get some actual cars and sounds on the grid.